My name is Kristi Archer. I'm from Fairborn, Ohio, and I'm going to be talking to you about how I lost 170 pounds. I am the oldest of 3 siblings. When I was a kid, my father was the only one working at the time, and when I was about 10 years old, my mother went to work, and so that kind of left us kids, with my father. Being the oldest, I took on a lot of responsibility of kind of being like the little mom. Around age 13, maybe the stress of it all, I'm not really sure, it kind of contributed to my tendency to binge eat. And the summer between 6th grade and 7th grade, I put on about 50 pounds. So by the time I was 14, I weighed 250 pounds. And it escalated from there.
Her weight gain was kind of so gradual growing up that it wasn't something that I paid a lot of attention to. It wasn't until really around junior high age that I noticed that it was a concern, and that was only because of what other people would think about her, and then worrying about what my friends would think about her, and like that kind of thing. That's when it became a concern to me, as selfish as that sounds, but I was a kid, so I didn't think about health or anything like that at that time.
In 2014, my grandfather passed away. He passed away really because of diabetes and heart disease. And I remember really clearly in the hospital, I was sitting beside his bed. He couldn't understand what I was saying. But I told him, I said, "You stupid old man, if you had to just listen to what the doctors said, then you would have 10 more years with grandma." And at the time, I was sitting in the chair, and it was kind of those ones where the sides were open, and my ass was hanging out the sides of the chair. And I looked down and I thought, "Oh, you hypocrite. You give it a little more time, and you're going to be the one in this bed, and everybody's going to be crying over you." And at that point, I was just like, "Oh, I'm done. I don't want to die. Nothing is that delicious." So I just started from there. I didn't really know how to start, but I did. I just didn't stop. Well, I knew that when I started that I didn't want to just go with a fad. I had to do some research on how to change your entire eating habits. So what I started with was, I'm thinking what has the biggest hold on me? And at the time I was, diet soda had a huge hold on me. I was drinking it morning, noon, night. So I kicked that. And then I went with the next thing that had a hold on me, which I had a huge sweet tooth. So I cut those out. And you succeed better by doing little baby steps. It can be really intimidating for people to start, exercising, but I feel like going somewhere small is a good starting place for people. And really, it doesn't matter what you do. At least in the beginning, you can just start doing some form of cardio. So that's what I did. And then I just did, half an hour or an hour every day. And I just didn't stop. What kind of emotional effects has a weight loss journey had? Huge. More so than anything physical. And that's the part that nobody really prepares you for. I remember every single second of being 320 pounds. Every second. Every single feeling of how my body moved. Sometimes I will get what I call phantom fat moments. And I can only compare it to if you were to lose an appendage really quick, you can almost feel that arm. I have a food addiction. So when I started to binge eating is, it's usually attached to emotion. But the hard part is with food, first of all, you need to live, obviously. But second of all, you have to have a balance. And it's the one addiction that you have that everybody wants you to kind of eat what you're addicted or have what you're addicted to. You know, if it's alcoholism, drugs, don't ever have that. But, you know, you have a food addiction, it's kind of like, hey man, you know, it's so-and-so's birthday party, let's have some cake, let's do this, let's do that. And you feel, and you actually have to kind of balance it. So that's the hardest part. That's something that nobody teaches you how to do. Another thing that, you know, nobody really talks about is the fact that, you know, you still feel like a morbidly obese person. I was class 3 morbidly obese. That's not even on a standard BMI chart. You know, people make comments or compliments, I guess I should say, you know, oh, you look great, but you don't feel that. And that lasts so long after you've lost the weight. It just doesn't go away. And you really have this, you know, body dysmorphia for a lot longer than you would care to, but it's so hard, you know, to change all those things, to, you know, the eye doesn't see what you want it to see, and you certainly don't see yourself like everyone else. So I would say that is, those things I hated more than the whole process of losing the weight. You know, that was hard, but the mental toll is, you know, it's good, it's great, you know, thing that you do, but nobody prepares you for the, you know, what comes after it.
Good morning.
Skin removal, it was probably one of the best decisions I ever made. Now, I had researched it because after I had lost 130 pounds, you know, in that process, everybody says that I was young enough, that the skin was going to bounce back. It absolutely did not. So I went to the plastic surgeon and he says, yeah, we can cut this off. And I had like a lap apron of skin. And when he told me it was going to be gone, I was just shocked. I said, this is going to be gone. He said, yeah, it's going to be gone. So I was elated. They took off excess skin from around my whole entire body. And they took off 20 pounds of skin and like kind of excess fat. There's fat there. And when I woke up, I had staples all the way around my body and drain tubes. And I just remember going to sleep, seeing all of that, and I woke up and it was gone. And I was so happy. You know, the freedom that you feel like when something was just such a burden to you was amazing.
Hey guys, excuse me. I just wanted to give everybody an update through video because there's a lot of people that's been asking how I've been doing, which I really appreciate. So I'm home, as you can see. The surgery went really well. This is my right leg. The best part is I'm totally straight. Here's a comparison of legs.
So I was from childhood knock-kneed. So that meant my knees touched when my feet were separated, right? And when I was little, it was kind of mild. And it's usually a condition that will self-correct. So nobody was too worried about it. But mine didn't self-correct. And worse, I gained all that weight. So I have this morbidly obese body on top of these knees that are already kind of off center. And eventually I just wanted to see what I could do to get it taken care of. I work in a children's hospital, and one day I was getting onto an elevator and a man stops me and he says, I was just looking at you and, you're knock-kneed. And I said, yeah, I know. And he says, no, I'm a surgeon and I can fix that. And he had a way to fix it without replacements, and that was to have the rods placed in and correct the misalignment, And so I decided to do it, and I'm so glad I did, because that pain was just unreal. And now they're stronger than, my legs are stronger than they ever were, for years, my goal was to be as lean as I could be with, you know, an acceptable number on this scale that I never would find. My goal was to look like a bikini model, possibly compete, you know, you name it. I've thought about it. I wanted to be bigger, stronger. I wanted to have just this little tight little body and for it to just be perfect at all times. I wanted, you know, a narrower waist. I wanted straighter legs. I wanted, you know, just perfect delts, and you know, I wanted so many different things at different times. And like I said, it's literally just chasing a dragon. You are literally going after something that you will never get. You know, that's what I'm telling myself. You'll never be there, ever. Just accept your little flaws, because everybody has them. And that's, you know, something else that I had to accept and appreciate. It's just the beauty in all of our differences, and that I have them too, and that I have flaws, and that's okay. Nobody needs to validate you as a human being. You have to validate yourself. And that was one of the biggest things that I had to learn, you know, is that self-love and that self-validation and that self-confidence, and fight for it, because everybody deserves it.